boys, before we head into the Death Star, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourselves? I'm your Captain Billy Bob.
And I am Pierre Poupon.
And I'm Reginald, smashing good fellas, eh?
And you can call me Stranky Jones.
Red 5 standing by.
Mr.Shay here, can I help?
Mon Dieu, his airplane is made from paper.
I made this X-Wing in the art room. We'll tell you more about it later.
Yeah, it sure looks like it.
Hey, don't laugh. We need all the help we can get around here.
Alright, boys, let's cut the chatter. Hold your formation. Mr. Shay, why don't you lead us on in?
I say, this might be a bad time, but did anyone bring their photon torpedoes? I left mine at home.
I've got two torpedoes
I didn't bring
left,
mine
and
either.
they're both ready to go.
Switching to targeting computer.
Fire!
Hey, where'd Han Solo come from?
Effique big explosion!
Great shot, Mr. Shay. That was 1 in a million.
Okay, welcome back to the art room for our X-Wing episode. That sure was fun flying around in space there in my paper ship. It's an easy thing to do, and I've been wanting to do this with you for a long time. Back in the art room, we used to make lots of spaceship designs in art class, and some of them looked a little different, even though it's kind of the same basic thing. Here's kind of a cool one that I built out of black paper. You may want to try. Got a little alien stuck in there. Oh, but let's get started building our X-Wing. So I'm just going to use regular copy machine paper on this. So I'll set the X-Wing over there for a minute. Okay, and I want to get you started. So we'll just lay the paper down like this the long way, and we're going to make a diagonal fold like that. Okay, and then we'll take our scissors and we're going to cut that tail off of there. Okay, alright, so then we open it up like that. Now we'll bend these two side pieces in. If you remember our kite that we built, this is a little bit like a kite. That was a long time ago when we did the kite. Look up the kite episode, that's a good one. Okay, and we've got really now the basic building block of our ship. Okay, that's really all there is to it. All we need to do is put wings and things on it. But there is something on these ships. On this one I'm working on, I left this tail part go up with a strong angle, and if we want it to look like an X-Wing, there's something we need to do with that. So open it up like this again. Okay, you with me? Just lay it down like that and take something to sketch with. I got a little marker here, and what I'm going to do is draw a line that's parallel to that fold line. You know what parallel means. You don't have to use a ruler unless you want to, and I'm going to just draw a line across there like that so that these two lines are kind of parallel. Okay, I'll show you why we did that in a second. So cut that top part off of there like that. Okay, alright, very good. So now, well, we're going to leave it in that same orientation on our desk. Now we'll take this bit that we cut off here, see that piece? And we'll put some glue on it and stick our airplane back together again. So get a little Elmer's glue on that. You know, we could be using the hot glue gun And sometimes I do, but I know a lot of you out there don't have a hot glue gun, so we're going to stick with Elmer's glue. So here's a little trick of the trade about gluing things. Just after you put the glue on it, make sure you rub it around with your fingertip, and then just leave it sit there for about 10 seconds or so. It'll get a lot stickier. It'll get a whole bunch stickier. And mine's getting nice and sticky. So I'm going to use this piece right here to join my airplane, my X-Wing, back together by sticking it on like that and then bending it around the edge. Okay? Bend it around the edge like that. And then you'll have a nice X-Wing shape. And if there's anything hanging off the end like mine, I'm just going to trim that extra part off of there. And, all right, and voila, we have the body of our X-Wing looking good. Oh, it's looking good. So we'll make a decision about how to do our cockpit. When I did my first X-Wing, I wanted to put a little Mr.Shay in there so you could see him flying through space. So I have an empty cockpit here that I cut, like this one. This one's got that like empty cockpit. I just cut that into the side. I'll show you that in a second. And then on this one though, what I've done is drawn the cockpit on so I don't have to show anything. Nobody is inside that necessarily, inside mine. So if you want to draw yours first, then now's the time to do it. Take something and draw a cockpit on here like this. Okay, and we'll just make the opening for the pilot right there. Okay, so I would then just color that in and copy the same shape on the other side. But I think so that we look like the first one that I did for you, I'm going to go ahead and cut that part out. Okay, and here we are with our X-Wing so far. Okay, now I'm going to apply some glue to the bottom. And if you put it right about here, you'll get a pretty good seal. You might be tempted to put it all the way over to the side, but you won't catch much that way. So I'm going to put some glue down that side there. And let your glue sit for a second. It'll stick better. Just let it sit there for a minute. And then I'm going to bring this over and stick it together like that. Okay. How you doing with yours so far? I hope you're doing fine. Okay. Okay, time to make our wings for our X-Wing then. So I'm going to take another piece of our copying machine paper, and I'm going to make sure that I'm going in the long direction. I'm just going to go ahead and fold it in half, like that. And fold it in half again, like that. That's twice I folded it. Okay. And then fold it in half one more time. Like that. Okay. So after you've folded it like that, you're going to see these kind of loose pages sort of thing that are opening up. So what we're going to do then is find out where we need to put some glue. So that last bit right there, that last opening there, I'm going to put a little glue in there. Yeah, you'll see them. You'll see all these little places that are opening up here that you need to put glue on. And put another line of glue in there. And okay, looks like I've got one more area there to put some glue on, like that. And alright, and with all that glue, we're going to have a really nice solid wing for our X-Wing. Okay, that's great. And you can make another one. Let's do another one. Same thing. This is the top wing. Alright. That's going to be my top wing. And once again, we're going to find the places that are open. Like the page of a book, sort of, I guess. And in there. And what are we doing? Okay, there's the second wing, and we are looking good. So I'm going to put these over here on the side for a minute and let them dry up. And I'm going to set something kind of heavy on top. Just let those dry over there. Let our wings dry. We'll go back to our piece that we cut off of the beginning part. Remember, this is the tail part, and what I'm going to have you do now is fold it in half the fat way. These are going to be these cool little wing tips for our X-wing. So fold it for 2 pieces and fold it up again to make 4 pieces. Okay, so you might notice they're a little bit taller one way or the other. The tall way is going up, so I'm going to turn it this way, so I'm working with kind of the wide direction for our 4 engines here, and I want to get them nice and curly. So I'm going to take a paintbrush or a pencil or something, and not that one. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to wind it up around the pencil. Get it nice and curly there, okay? Alright, and then let it spring open a little bit. And after it springs open, then that's the time to put your glue in there, like that. And then seal it back up again. Okay, there's one. Let's do another one. Okay, looking good. And I'm going to go ahead of you here in a minute and just make the other 2 real quick so you don't have to watch all that. There's 2. Okay, and we've got 4 of our rocket engines there. So let's go back and get rid of the pipe wrench there. Let's go back and we'll get our wings, and next thing we're going to do then is take these 4 engines, and I'm going to put some glue on the end of each one of our engines there. Make sure you rub it around a little bit. Alright, and let's pick 2 that look kind of similar, and we'll set that one there, and we'll set that one there. Oh, that looks so cool already. And then we'll get our other engines going. Okay, alright, so we've got 2 wings here. Time to go back to our spaceship body, and I'm going to pick up my spaceship here, and let's see. Oh, that's looking good. I'm going to figure out where I want to glue my first wing. This is the bottom wing, and if I look at my first X-wing, let's see, where is that? It's yeah, it's about 3/4 of the way back there, I guess. So what I'm going to do here so I don't get glue all over the place is position my spaceship like that, where I think it's going to be the best, and mark a little line here. And so now I know right where to put my glue. So I'm going to get some glue in there and rub that around. Alright. And how does that fit right in there? Yes, it does. I think I'm going to sneak in here in the back and kind of push down too a little bit. Alright. Let's push that up a little farther. Okay. How does that look so far? Oh yeah. Okay. Looking good so far. Now, let's put the spaceship, let's put the X-Wing over here for a minute, and it's time to talk about some other engines. These big main engines that we have on the side are kind of nice because they really hold the whole thing together, and we will fold it in half the fat way. Okay, and fold it in half again, like that, and fold it one last time, like that. Hey, and it's a good idea to save all these little bits of paper too that we have. You never know when they're going to come in handy for other things. So these are going to be our engines, our big engines. So I'm going to cut those up. Okay. I'm really going to need 4, but these 2 pieces might come in handy, and just never know. I got a whole pile of scrap paper over here now. All right, so these bigger engines we're going to build just like we did the little wingtips, except these are going to be bigger in diameter, and I'm going to get them wrapped around my pencil once again. Only this time I'm going to let my engine spring open to about as big as it will go, and kind of let it uncurl a bit. I'm going to put some glue down the edge, like that. Okay, and then I'm going to join this together in the biggest tube that I can make out of that that piece that we cut. So, okay, so I'm going to go ahead of you now and make 4 more of these. Okay, looking good. Now, let's go back to our X-Wing, and it's looking good, and a lot of the things are dry here. These engines on the bottom here, I'm going to flip it over, and they are going to go, let's look at the Mr.Shay ship here again. They are going on the bottom of the wing here. So, I'm going to put some glue right here. This is the bottom of the X-Wing, and I'm going to rub that around really good. Put a little glue on that engine right there and let that get extra sticky. And then a little glue right here and let that get extra sticky right there. Okay. And let's move that a bit. Let's stick this engine here. Okay. Trying to make it go forward to the front of the ship, and then let's stick the other engine over there. Oh wow. Yeah, I'm trying to kind of line things up. Alright. And I'm going to let that now dry for a second. So let's set about attaching our top wing now to our X-Wing. It looks so great. So what I want to do is get my wing that we built before, okay, and I want to calculate, if I can, where this wing is going to be right above my first wing here. See what I'm doing? I want to kind of find a spot that I'm going to be able to make a notch and send that wing back in. So yours may be a little bit different, but this notch that we're going to make is going to go straight back parallel with the bottom of the ship here. So I'm going to just sketch a little line right there, and that line is right above where I think my wing, my first wing is. And I'll take my pair of scissors then, and let's cut right about there. Okay, yeah, got that right. And I'm going to see if I can slide that way. Let's see, no, not that way. Bring it into that notch like that. Bring it in there like that. Okay, and I'll get it kind of even with my other wings. Oh, that's great. And not going to glue it yet, though. I'm going to kind of balance that out. Let's see how we doing. Yes. Okay, time to get our other engines. And these engines are going to give us a little bit of support for our wings. So on my first one, I kind of did a sort of an upward bend on my wings. And I think I'm going to do that again. I kind of like that idea. You know, these X-wings can, their wings can expand and contract. So right about when I think I've got it in the middle, I think that looks pretty good for the middle. Maybe a little scooch over that way. Okay, I'm going to bend it up like this. Okay, put a little bend in it there. Okay, great. And let's glue up our engines. So, right on that place, I'm going to hide that, you know, the place where the paper comes together. I always like to do that. And let that glue set for a second. Let's get my other engine. Let that one set for a second, rather. And all right. So I'm going to take that engine and stick it underneath the wing. You see what I'm doing here? Sticking it underneath the wing, and I'm trying to make the engine on top correspond to the engine on the bottom. I'm just going to press that together for a little bit so I make sure it sticks. And let's take that other engine rather. It should be pretty sticky by now. And we'll stick that one over here. And what I'm trying to do is get them in there so that they support that wing. And I'm going to kind of pinch those two up against the ship like that. Okay, trying to keep everything straight. And if you have a glue gun, you're in luck. Yeah, we could have used a glue gun. Sometimes I do. Okay, and it's starting to grab together pretty well, I'd say. Let's see, pinch it a little bit more over here. Okay. And I just happen to have my toothpick still from our geodesic dome project laying around, and these make really cool little places. My first one had these little toothpicks coming out there, kind of essential to the look of the X-wing. So I'm going to go ahead and get 4 toothpicks. If you don't have toothpicks, you could make little pieces of paper sticking out or cardboard. Hey, we artists have to kind of go with what we have sometimes, unless you send mom out for toothpicks. Okay, let's put that one in there like that. Get some of this out here so you can see better. And this time I'm using plenty of Elmer's glue. I'm not waiting for anything to get sticky. Send it in there like so. And the pointy part out, of course, if you can. Whoops. Stick that one in there. Oh, that's sweet. And stick that one in there. We are definitely coming down the home stretch now, so one more sheet of paper I think is all it's going to take to finish up our engines. So we need to extend these engines out a little bit. I'll show you what to do. Another piece of paper, and we're going to fold in half the fat way. Okay, and the fat way again. And this time we're going to stop right here, and I'm going to cut these up into 4 sections. All right. So we want these engines are going to be the longer engines. I don't know, you can see these coming out of our main engines here, and I think we're going to do 4 of them this time. I don't know why I didn't do 4 the first time. So I'm going to take my pencil again and make these going the long direction. All right. And yeah, I want to make sure they fit inside there, so I'm not going to let them expand out to their full size. So I'm going to get my glue once again here, and I want these engines to be a little more slender this time. So make that calculation. You can do it. Okay, a little slender. Will that fit inside there? Oh yeah. Oh, that's sweet. Look at that sticking out. That's great. So I'm going to make 4 in. Okay, I think we are doing great here. Hope yours is looking good too. What I'm going to do next then is take these 4 engines that we made just a second ago, and those are going to go right back here. I'm going to be putting those in the back of our X-Wing. So I'm going to let them hang out the back. It's kind of the, the booster engine or something like that. And let's get these glued in. And I think I'll let them get sticky the way we usually do. Are you having fun with this? I hope so. I looked all over the internet and I could not find one X-Wing project that was like this. Some of them were origami projects and very complicated. But maybe someday we'll do an origami project again. We haven't done anything since the paper frog, I don't think, really, origami wise. Oh boy, look at that. That's terrific. Okay, and the last one goes in there. All right. The little tips then, I've got a lot of scrap paper laying around, that's for sure. So I'm going to get a piece of scrap paper and I'm going to fold it in half 2 times, okay, because I want to make 4 copies of these kind of, I think they would have to be like little radar dishes or something. I'm not exactly sure what function. They're more like a dime size, or and I'm going to find something to poke some holes with. Be careful. Whatever you have laying around the house, maybe ask Mom if she's got something that's sharp. And I'm just going to take my my little pointy thing here and make a hole in the end of that, and stick that on like that. See what I've done? Stick it on like that, and let's get that one stuck on. Okay. I think that really adds to it. And over here as well. Okay. Yeah, oh, that's great. And then the last one. All right. Okay, so what's the difference between my first Mr.Shay version and yours, or the one we've been working on? Well, it's just the details, I guess. So I've decorated mine up with red construction paper strips, just cut them out and glued them on, wrapped them around the wings here and there. This idea of plugging up the ends of the engines is kind of a neat idea, and I took a piece of black construction paper and cut out a ball, and then I bent, I left a little tab on my cutout, and then I just simply put some Elmer's glue on that tab and stuck that up inside where the engines are. And then I had a lot of fun with my paint and my brush, kind of going around and adding some of these neat little like air vents and little squares. And let's see, what else did I do? Sudden inspiration to put R2 in. R2's riding in the back. I got a little notch out of that. Oh, and I also put a toothpick on the end. Okay, that's going to wrap things up for today's lesson. But before we go, remember what we always say: no matter where you go, no matter what you do, you've got something to be proud of. You're an artist. Stick with it, and we'll see you back here next time in Mr. Shay's Art Room.